Highlights of the World International Pairs Final are brought to you by Windhoek Lager. The Peninha Golf Resort on Portugal's Algarve hosted the 20th edition of the World International Pairs Final. The course was built in 1966 and has hosted the Portuguese Open on many occasions, most recently in 2006. The likes of Sam Torrance, Paul Broadhurst and Miguel Angel Jimenez having won here in the past. The 2018 World International Pairs featured teams from 16 countries, including South Africa and Namibia, testimony to the rapid growth of the Windhoek Lager International Pairs staged in Southern Africa.
If one thinks of where this all started 5 years ago, only 5 countries participating in the Namibian Lager Golf Championship, and now with only 2 pairs, from South Africa, or 2 countries from South Africa and Namibia, looking forward to really spreading this into Africa, and all hopes are there that we'll have 7 countries next year, each sending their individual pairs out to this beautiful country and to this beautiful championship. So all augurs well for it being really a growing sport in Africa, and we would like to be behind them with Windhoek Lager all the way.
Tremendous news for African golf that 7 countries will be represented here in 2019, and it comes hot on the heels of the announcement that the Southern African organisers, African Sports Management, have acquired the worldwide rights to international pairs and are planning more events for amateur golfers.
We're very excited with what has happened over the last 6 months or so. World Golf Tournaments have bought the rights to the international pairs worldwide, and with that a second tournament in Las Vegas called the Transatlantic Challenge, which is 2 events that's aimed specifically at the normal club golfer. Where a normal club golfer with a handicap can come through, represent his club, his country, and in Vegas' case, his continent, against other teams from the world.
Belleville Golf Club members, brothers Hugo and Mornay Vermeulen, claimed the right to represent South Africa after an extensive process, which featured close to 20,000 amateur golfers participating in 302 tournaments. A solid performance at the Windhoek Lager International Pairs Final at Omea near Windhoek saw the siblings book a place in the Portugal event.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Thank you to Windhoek, ASM. It's been fantastic up to now. All the experiences, the course, the hotel, so it's just amazing.
For us, I just told the Oaks from Jersey, both of us did sport our whole life, and now we're too old, so golf is the next best thing to compete in as amateurs. And the friends that we made just today with the Jersey Oaks, I think it's going to be friends for life. And hopefully we will get draw with him tomorrow again, because it was good fun.
Durban Country Club pair Mark Angel and Larry Southwood narrowly missed out on qualifying for the World Final in 2017. This year they ended 3rd at Omea, but were invited to travel to Portugal after the first 2 pairs were asked to withdraw as a result of scoring discrepancies.
I think it's absolutely brilliant, because it gives everybody a chance, no matter how good you are, and no matter what handicap or sex or age. It really is a great concept, and we're very fortunate.
Mark and I actually said that earlier in the week. The prize is we're here. So, the privilege is to be here. So right now, if we meet people, have fun, we're here to experience Portugal as a country and to meet people from all over the world.
The story of the Namibian team is a fairy tale come true. Johannes Bertus Daimon and Joseph Martin both represented Namibia on the international football field. At the pairs final at Omea, they finished 5th to earn the right to travel to Portugal.
It's a dream and an honor to represent Namibia, to be in Portugal also. And I must, from my side, I know there's lots of guys in Namibia that is practicing very hard now to follow in our footsteps, because while what we achieve did open up a lot of people, especially the guys of previous disadvantage. So it's a dream come true, and to meet people also where you can indulge with other people It's
other
just an honor,
countries.
yes, yeah, to be
Other
here.
countries. And a last thing that I want to say is for Namibia breweries to come on board and do this. This is, it is huge. If you imagine you get a whole week in a hotel like Panina and playing golf, that is great.
The Parade of Nations is one of the highlights of the World International Pairs. After the practice round, representatives from the 16 participating nations, including South Africa and Namibia, and from as far afield as the United States and the United Arab Emirates, proudly displayed their flags in a ceremony supported by Portimao, the nearest city to Panina. With the official opening out of the way, it was time for what some of these amateur golfers had travelled halfway around the world for, to claim the coveted title as the World International Pairs champions. Hugo and Mornay Vermeulen made a very good start to their round. Hugo, the shorter of the two, plays off a 16 handicap, and his brother Mornay off a 15. The pair bagged 3 birdies over the front 9 to turn in 24 on the Stableford point system. On the back 9, they had to settle for 2 birdies, as well as a number of pars on the par 73 course. A par by Mornay on the 18th secured 22 points for an overall total of 46, a nerve-wracking experience for the two.
The nerves is unbelievable. You can't explain it. I mean, short putts feels like 10-meter putts. Every shot is nerve-wracking. It's just unreal.
46 was the score to beat. The second South African pair, Mark Angel and Larry Southwood, put in a great effort, but wasted a couple of point-scoring opportunities through missed putts. 2 birdies were the highlights of the front 9 for the Durban Country Club pair. They carded 20 points. The back 9, they did slightly better. Angel with 2 birdies and finishing with a par for 21 points on the back 9 and a total of 41.
Yeah, we played with some guys from the UK and they were fantastic, and there was lots of camaraderie. I don't think it was much competition. It was more about chatting, getting to know what they do, and no, it was really, really fantastic.
The Namibian pair of Damon and Martin were very consistent and managed to score points on every hole of the front 9. They eventually totaled 20 points. They repeated this on the back 9 with another birdie and again a few pars. Damon had a bogey 6 on the final hole for a point. 20 over the back 9 as well for 40 in total.
We take the Scotties to the cleaners today, but to play with them, it is a big experience, and it is good. It is good exposure. It is good for golf. It's good for the sport himself.
After round 1, the 3 pairs from Southern Africa featured in the top 5 on the leaderboard. The Vermeulen brothers with a 4-point lead over the Irish pair. Southwood and Angel level with the English pair, with the Namibians a point adrift in 5th place. After a tense and at times very competitive opening round, time to sit back and relax. A performance by a local dance group, a welcome introduction to local culture for the visiting golfers. The start of the second round and a reminder of what it is all about with a trophy on display. Sponsors representative Ian Stevenson on the tee to wish the 3 teams from Southern Africa good luck.
It's the final round of the International Pairs World Final. And the first flight on the first tee, leading the competition, Team South Africa, Mornay Vermeulen, Hugo Vermeulen.
A bright sunny day on the Algarve. Hugo Vermeulen first off, followed by his brother Mornay. The pair with a comfortable 4 points lead over the second-placed Irish pair of Kevin Marr and Paul Traynor, but playing with Kevin Kenny and Tony Morgan. They were followed off the tee by their countrymen Mark Angel and Larry Southwood, representing Durban Country Club. The pair were 4 points adrift of the Vermeulens. Next off the tee, the Namibians, Joseph Martin and Bertus Damon, 6 points behind the leaders, but their consistency in round 1 suggested they could have a shot at winning the title. The Algarve is a really popular destination for parachuting, a few brave souls in the skies despite a strong wind buffeting across the 18th hole. The Vermeulen brothers struggled in the conditions and had a first 9 they'd rather forget. They started by failing to score any points on the first hole, keeping in mind that the scoring for the international pairs is the Stableford point system, where a player scores 1 point for a bogey, 2 for a par, 3 for a birdie, 4 for an eagle and 5 for an albatross. No birdies on the first 9, and the best they could do were a couple of pars on the low-scoring holes. They only picked up 18 points over the first 9, meaning they were in serious danger of losing their lead. It didn't really go much better for the Belleville Golf Club members on the back 9. Again, no birdies, and they reached the 18th knowing they were in trouble. Both brothers had opportunities for a birdie and 3 points at the final hole, but couldn't sink the putts and had to be satisfied with a par and 2 points. Those missed putts in the end would cost them dearly. Larry Southwood and Mark Angel had a similar tale to tell. Southwood was playing very good golf straight off the tees and accurate approach shots, but the Durban Country Club member couldn't buy a short putt even if he had all the money in the world to do so. They put together 17 points on the front nine and 18 on the back. Southwood very relieved to finally hole a short putt for par and 2 points for a second round total of 35. The Namibians Bertus Damon and Joseph Martin again were a picture of consistency. When one player struggled, the other would come through and add valuable points. They dovetailed perfectly. 2 birdies and a number of par scores on the first 9 helped the pair to score of 21 Stableford points. On the back 9, a similar pattern, and on the final hole, they had played themselves into a position where they could possibly win. Damon with a short putt for par and 2 points. It was only much later that he realized just how important the putt was. It was probably the most important putt in Damon's amateur golf career. The 2 points they managed on this hole gave the Namibians the most slender of victories over the overnight leaders Hugo and Morne Vermeulen. After a long, anxious wait, a double checking of the scores, the Namibians were declared the overall winners.
After we realized we maybe won, before it get official, I was in 7 heaven.
Yes, for myself also, I feel honored and great to be here. That's my first prize already. And to take the trophy is just a cherry on the cake, that's all. So I'm very happy.
When we said we were going to take Windhoek Lager onto the international stage, I didn't, in my wildest dreams, think that we'd be bringing Namibian golfers and actually coming to conquer the world. So it just goes to show what is possible. If you believe it, it can be done. An absolutely amazing effort by the Namibian guys, and it's so gratifying from a small country like Namibia to actually come out and conquer the world. Just as you say, a script couldn't have been written this good.
For a country with a small population, Namibian sportsmen and women always punch way above their weight, and the victory by Bertus Damon and Joseph Martin again highlighted the sporting talent Namibia is capable of producing. Damon and Martin crowned champions of the 20th edition of the International Pairs Final, the first winners from Africa. Next year there'll be more teams from the continent, so watch this space. From Penina in Portugal, goodbye. Highlights of the World International Pairs Final were brought to you by Windhoek Lager.